Let's talk about Royal Rife and his machines, the history and the new science that has just come out. Just amazing stuff.
Dr. Paul Hader, Master Herbalist, Get Healthy Now.
Hi, Dr. Paul Hader, Master Herbalist here. Let's get healthy. Today I want to talk about Dr. Royal Rife and his machines, all the history behind it, and some of the new studies that are out. Very interesting. Before I get into that, if you like what I do, please give me a thumbs up. Please tell other people. Please subscribe. We can make a difference in your life and get you healthy also. You know, way back in the beginning of the century, Royal Rife was around, and he was doing studies about cancer and other diseases also, and also parasites and all types of things. And he came up with the idea that there is a virus that really did cause cancer. That was his mainstay of the history he came up with. And he started figuring out different ways that he could get rid of this virus and get rid of the cancer. Very interesting. And he put together a machine that actually created frequencies in the body, and these frequencies would actually change the virus and they would disappear. And he did studies with major universities, taking people who had tumors, and actually did one therapy with them, 3 minutes, and 86.5% of them had the tumor, eventually disappear. Then he worked for 2 months with the other people who didn't have that happen, and they eventually had, their cancer disappeared too. That is history. And we now know that the Bovine Leukemia virus, also, the human papillomavirus, the Epstein-Barr, and a lot more viruses actually are connected to cancer now also. We're learning a little bit as we go. And he wasn't the only one working on this. There was Dr. Hula Clark. She also had a machine, and also Dr. Jackson, Dr. Livingston Wheeler, and many, many more. And just very interesting. He is not the only one. The other important thing was he made a light microscope, which was amazing. Light microscopes, the one you use in college, that type of thing, they magnify about 400 times. The most powerful one that they have is about 2,000, around 2,000 or more magnification. And 400 is what most people use. But he had a light microscope that magnified 70,000 times. And you could actually see viruses moving around and doing their thing with cells. Wow. The closest we come to that now is an electron microscope, but everything's dead. You can't actually see anything, moving and doing their thing. Wow. So he presented the papers, and of course everybody laughed at him, and they did not want this to happen at all. And there was a major cancer center, and they did not want to see this as all, because cancer is, that happening for sure. And he was approached by a group, which I'll remain nameless, and they wanted to buy everything. And he refused. And he had a major backer which was going to help him. They were going to create these machines and a microscope, and they were going to put it out there inexpensively in order to help humanity in a huge way. But he refused to sell. Also, I find it interesting that right after that, his major backer all of a sudden passed away. Wow, interesting. And then, Dr. Rife was left penniless, and they started attacking Dr. Rife as a quack and, crazy person and all that kind of thing, kind of like Tesla, Dr. Reich, and a whole bunch of other people. They did that too. And, of course, he ended up with nothing and died without anything at all. Well, brand new studies using frequency machines like his show that it actually can help with cancers in a huge way, and I actually list them over here. I hope I can get them all in the comment, not in the comments, but actually show more area. And so, very interesting. And also, he is right about, viruses causing a lot of things. And I think it's very, very, very interesting in a huge way. I have friends who are orthomolecular doctors like Linus Pauling, and Dr. Linus Pauling was not very popular also because of his ideas of cancer and vitamin C. And my friends actually have done research for years and years. Jorge and Michael, and they both live here. And they go to present papers, and they are laughed at also because there's no money in it at all. So when it comes down to these type of things, it's all about this, unfortunately. If you want to know more, please contact me and I'll talk with you for a long time. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack about this already. If you look up Dr. Royal Rife, you actually see him put down as a quack. Well, the new studies show he was really not a quack at all. And Dr. Hoodla and a whole bunch of others, Dr. Jackson and on, they did know what they were talking about. And I believe that we need a huge amount of studies, actual unbiased studies showing, what's going on here with Dr. Rife's machine, and his microscope was lost. All this stuff disappeared. And I think that is a travesty to humanity. And we need to, find that microscope for sure, because there is nothing like it even now. So feel free to get a hold of me at 831-869-9119, 831-869-9119. And we can talk about a lot of things, and I help people reverse their disease on a regular basis. And it's very simple, and we can, get you as healthy as me. I just am turning, 70 this week. I just had a video about my workout routine, and you can be as healthy as I am. I feel great. I really do feel like 20, and you can too. And remember God, and remember I love you, and remember that the spiritual perspective is also important. And without that, we feel lost inside. There's no doubt about that. And I know that people who, have prayer hour or go to mosque, church, temple, or whatever it is, they feel better inside. And studies show they live longer. There's no doubt about that. Studies show that. So it's really important to have that. I love you.